This is Jyotsna Hegde with NRI Pulse. Joining us today is Rita Meher. She is the co-founder and executive director of Tasveer Film Festival, which was recognized as the only Oscar-qualifying South Asian film festival in the world. Before diving full time as the executive director of Tasveer, Rita was a video producer and editor. She made her career debut on TV in Japan in 1995. She edited the award winning Bangladeshi documentary Threads and made her first short film, Citizenship 101, based on her own immigration experiences. Rita has been honored by Northwest Asian Weekly as one of the rising stars in 2015 and won several accolades, including the Seattle Globalist of the Year in 2015, the Excellence of Arts in 2016 by International Examiner, and nominated for Seattle Mayor's Award for Excellence in Arts in 2017. Rita, it's truly a pleasure to have you with us today. Welcome.
Thank you so much, Jyotsna, for having me on your show.
Let's get to it, Rita. The Academy, as I said earlier, recognized the Sphere as the only Oscar qualifying South Asian, film festival in the world. What does this recognition mean for the Sphere in particular, and for South Asian films in general?
Yes, thank you so much for highlighting that. It's definitely a great feat for not just Tasveer, but all independent South Asian filmmakers, because what it does is now the South Asian filmmakers don't have to go chase any big film festival like Sundance or Tribeca, and which gets almost 12,000 films. Those get submitted. Out of that, they show handful of films, about 50 to 100 to 300, whatever the number is. But there's no guarantee for a South Asian filmmaker to get an award in that festival and get submitted to Oscars. So what it does for South Asian filmmakers is once they submit and get an award, which happens to be absolutely a South Asian film festival that will get an award in our festival. So it puts them directly in a direct line for Oscar awards. So we push them onto the world stage directly.
What does it mean for Tasveer itself? I know it's been a long journey for Tasveer too.
For Tasveer, it's we feel, it's not an easy work to run an arts organization, even though we get qualified as an Oscar qualifier film festival. That doesn't mean we get a lot of cash award or something. So what it really truly does is they acknowledge our hard work and what we have been doing, the quality of work we have been doing for 22 years now. So it acknowledges it, it encourages us to keep going, and hopefully others will follow the suit and keep going and keep doing their work day after day.
Absolutely. Now, I was reading about the sphere and going through some of the films, and it looks like social justice sort of, is, I mean, as I understand, is like the tracker, for the sphere movies. So, what was the inspiration behind it?
Very good question. Yes, we do use the lens of social justice. That means every film that we select for our film festival, we look it through that lens, whether it has some meaning, some message that we can spread. We support all the marginalized communities, whether be it LGBTQI community, women's stories, caste stories, children's stories. We want to elevate and uplift those stories. And I'm sorry, what was your question? The follow-up question to that?
Yeah, see, what was the inspiration? Why social justice?
Yeah. So the reason we were founded, Tasveer was founded in the aftermath of 9/11. And when 9/11 happened, my best friend Farah, Nousheen, and I, we both were in a different industry. She was in IT, and I was, believe it or not, a Japanese translator and trying to find some good work in Seattle, which I was having a hard time. So when 9/11 happened, we felt in our heart and and we both experienced some incidents in Seattle. Believe it or not, it was such a progressive city.
Mhm.
I experienced a hate incident, and Farah, having grown up in Chicago for a long time, she was constantly feeling as an other person in the society. So when 9/11 happened, we felt, let's do something about it. There must be many of them, many South Asians who are going through similar, in a similar situation like ours. So we said, how do we do it? And we thought film is a great tool to do that, to spread the message of understanding and alleviating ignorance and xenophobia and hate. So we decided to use film as a tool. So we started organizing film screenings, be it on Muslim women's perspective. Um, to There was so much Islamophobia. Uh, so we started bringing women's stories. Then we started the first when after we coined the name Tasveer, the first screening was on during the Pride Month on LGBTQI topic. So we started doing one at a time, and then that grew into a film festival.
Nice. So, what movie in recent times do you think sort of delivered that perfect social justice message?
Yeah, I have a perfect example actually. When you first asked, like, as Tasveer being the Oscar qualifying film festival, I'm very proud to say the first film we submitted, which is
Oh,
called Yellow,
okay.
from Afghanistan. And
Uh-huh.
it's a film that shows after Afghanistan fell, and US pulled out and Taliban took over. The first thing they did is removed all the access for education or freedom for Afghani women, and women can't go to school after, I believe it's. I have to correct my information, but after eighth class, they can do
Wow.
higher studies, which is really putting women as a second class citizen, and they're forced to wear burqa and the full chadar. So this short film that we selected, now it's shortlisted. The first year we
Wow.
submitted and it got shortlisted now.
Wow. Wonderful.
Uh,
Congratulations.
thank you. So it's a great example for what we do, what kind of films we select. So yeah, we really wish a lot of success for filmmaker, and hopefully this message gets onto the world stage and people do something about it, and the women are supported in Afghanistan.
Wonderful. We talked a little bit about the inspiration for the sphere, but I'm sure, there's a journey. So, can you briefly sort of track that journey for the sphere from I'm sure it was a humble beginning.
Yeah, it started out really, really small. We Everything we did is we spend money out of our pocket. But in 2002, we started doing those screenings, and in 2004, we did our first film festival with $5,000 that someone donated. Um, and then we also started doing in 2007, after we felt there's not enough women's stories, those are coming through the film festival. We wanted to do a women focused festival. And that grew into doing Yoni Ki Baat, which is the South Asian adaptation of the vagina monologues. And it became super hit. People just came out of woodwork. Women started participating in it. They started telling their stories about, be it about any form of sexuality, be it celebration or any kind of domestic violence. The stories were being told, and it was inspiring other women who were coming forward and sharing their story. The first year, people would be very hush hush because the name is. Uh, our community is a bit prude, and they say, oh, it's yoni ki baat, they talk about sex, so they wouldn't want to be seen sitting in the audience. And then the as it started growing and growing, the popularity kept growing. People would proudly come out and watch, and all shows will sell out, and women started owning their name. Before, they would say, oh, I'm sharing so and so's story, and they would be anonymous. They would share each other's story, so nobody will know who's telling whose story. So after a few years, that was gone, and they start sharing, owning their own
Wow.
stories. So we are very proud of that. Um, then fast forward to 2020, when the pandemic hit, we also started, say, as South Asian artists are hurting, we started a small fund, started out with $5,000, and then it started growing, and now we have three prize grant for filmmakers, and we partner with Netflix on that. So we really support filmmakers not only by giving funding, we put them in front of Netflix so that they can have direct access to Netflix, and work with them. Means the film has to be first made as a proof of concept, and then the connection will be made. But we bring a lot of Hollywood or big executives who could provide mentorship to our filmmakers. So from 5,000, now it's $25,000 per project, and three projects per year. And we are doing a lot of things. Our films are also shown on Alaska Airlines, our Tasveer
Wow.
Film Festival. Um, yeah. Um,
What would
that's
you say, Rita, was along the journey? What was the turning point, sort of, just so to speak, for the sphere?
The turning point was for the first 10 years, as a new immigrant to this country. I didn't know how to run a nonprofit, or what a nonprofit was, what a 501(c)(3) is, and that term. So I was, Farah and I, when we first started out, we both had our full time jobs, and then we did Tasveer on the side. And when she moved on and moved to New Mexico, I kept doing it. I kept working in TV stations and kept doing Tasveer on the side. And then in 2010, actually, I had shut it down. I said, okay, I can't do it alone. And I'm almost having two jobs, two full-time jobs. But it never left me. The sphere never left me. Even I was working in Microsoft, getting very well paid. It's always on my mind. And I thought, okay, maybe one more festival. And then in 2011, I did one festival. Again, I shut it down in 2012. But in 2012, when I had shut it down and something happened, I can remember that moment, March 4th, around 1 or 2 p.m.
Wow.
I said, no, I have to do Tasveer full time while sitting in the office of this
Wow.
of Microsoft, and good job and security. And I left everything, walked out. I said, I have to do Tasveer full time. I the following day I contacted City of Redmond. They gave me a small office space. I said, I'm going to do very formal way, not ad hoc, not as a volunteer. I want to run it as a full-fledged nonprofit organization. I used to carry in a bag, there would be a tasveer bag, like a 30-page um, 501(c)(3) application. Back then, it used to be 30 to 35 page to really intimidate you so that you don't do your 501(c)(3). And I carried it for 5 to 6 years in a bag. I said, okay, I'm going to fill it out and send it to IRS. And even if they reject it or say they'll correct this or that, I will do that, but I'm going to submit it. So I put a deadline to that. I submitted the 501(c)(3) application. I got a little broom closet room from City of Redmond. It's barely 5 feet by 5 feet by one table, which I'm sitting at,
Wow.
sit in there, and I would scoot and get a chair. sit on that and started going every day, paid myself $500 per month and $6,000
From
salary.
Microsoft to 5,500, huh? That's a huge leap of faith, too.
Huge. Yeah, it was like when I
With
was
your
so
colleague, for sure.
happy. And after that, I never felt a day of I have worked. Not as I never feel I have a job or a work. It's the most beautiful thing that could happen in
Fun.
that decision. So now
Uh,
we are in Seattle Center. Or you
oh,
should
now you're
visit.
in Seattle Center. Oh, how nice.
Nice, pretty
Uh,
office.
so Rita, walk us through, I'm not everything, but maybe like the process of how you pick the movies, and what is kind of the most challenging part of that process?
It's getting more and more challenging because there's no excuse to make a bad movie anymore with the access to equipment and all the top-notch gear. Um, However, the process is when when reviewers watch these movies, we give there's some guideline like make sure there's one, yes, the production quality has to be top notch, but there is some kind of why the filmmaker made the movie. We want to see that. I love reading filmmaker statement in Film Freeway, why they made the movie, why this movie is important, because the slots are very 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 short. We have very few slots and we want to give it to the most highly deserving filmmaker. So why this story is being told is always in the back of our head. And if you want to watch a light movie, there's always place, right? The Bollywood movies or which we love and get entertained, and we can watch it other places. But this place is very niche and very, you know, small. So we want to fit in the right kind of movie. I hope that answers the question.
Yeah. Yeah. So, Tasveer has, it's brimming with, new ideas and initiatives. So, I was reading about Tasveer Film Market and Tasveer Film Funding. So, can you talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, you hit on the very exciting thing that I'm working on right now. We are going to start a film market this October, which we have been talking about it for many years, and I think time is right now to do it right now as our community filmmaking community is growing and the filmmakers need this space. There is nothing like a film market outside South Asia. There is some Goa Film Bazaar and some other film market, but nothing is being done outside South Asia. And I want to bring that outside South Asia in America, in the United States, and that will be in Seattle in October second week, 8th through 13th. In that, we just don't want to talk about, hey, how do you make films? And okay, let's make films. I really want some concrete results of it. I want the deals to be made. I want the connections to be made. I want to announce that. We want to announce those results in the end of the film market, like who met with who and what kind of deals were made, because I want it to be very, very productive. I want filmmakers to be supported by whether it's financiers, distributors, executives, or studios which are coming down for this film market. I want them to meet with filmmakers and producers and make that relationship and collaboration. So I want it to be the happening place. I want everyone to come, whether they're thinking about making a film or they have a project already in mind or they have already been done it, but they need finishing funds. So those kind of connections will be made at this film market, and it's going to be huge. Huge in a sense that very productive, very result oriented. I want results from that. So that's one. And Film Fund, Yes, we are getting $25,000 per project, but we want to grow it to at least $1 million project. That is still a small budget film. So hopefully someone will come in and do this for the filmmakers, because we are still hugely underrepresented. We are still under 3% according to USC Annenberg Hollywood report.
So, to you, what constitutes success for a film festival?
Um, uh, it's a very tricky question because success could be seen in many form. Uh, yes, it's very important that we don't go in loss and we stay above,
Of course.
stay afloat. But the most important thing, as for me, is people are having fun and enjoying making connections. When I hear at our film festival, like from filmmakers or any attendees, they said, I had the most fun at your film festival. It was so well organized. I met so many filmmakers and so many other amazing people at the festival. That's like an recognition and award for me. I love hearing those things, and that I constitute as a success for a film festival. Like having the best experience you can possibly at a film festival. And as an organizer, I don't want to leave any preparation uh, unturned or left out. I want to be, every detail has to be great, and at the same time not being OCD about it, but I have everything taken care of, everything being thought out. And I started going out to the film festivals recently, and I'm amazed, like such a simple thing just to say, "Hey, welcome to our festival. Hey, so good to see you. You're here." If you don't get that greeting, it just feel like
Yeah,
they don't see us,
yeah.
that we came all the way from Seattle to attend your festival, and you can't even look at me in my eyes, and greet me. It's like I don't want to go back there. So experience.
Yeah. So, Rita, according to you, what is the role of a movie, in society? Is it just entertainment, sort of reflection of the society, or, I mean, do you think it can actually really bring about change?
Oh my goodness, yes, yes, yes. So there's so many things. Movies is nothing but storytelling, and storytelling is so important. Storytelling is healing. Storytelling is acknowledge each other's presence and existence, and it's representation, increasing your representation on the main screen. When I really go by what Mira Nayers always says, if you don't tell your own story, nobody else will. So it's film is nothing but you're telling your story, so that the other person who is in the same situation, they can acknowledge and say, oh, this is what I'm going through, this is my story. They can relate, they can heal from that. So film plays a huge role, and there is no other beautiful, powerful, of course books are there too, but book, somebody has to buy the book. There's a lot of challenges and blocks to
And
get
it's
to a
also
book.
interpretation, right? Books you can
Yes.
interpret because it's more of an imagination thing. So you can imagine it any way that you want. But I think film sort of, when a filmmaker makes a movie, he sort of channels that in the
Yeah.
direction that he wants. It's probably what you're saying is very close to your title, Tasveer. It's a reflection of society itself.
Yeah, and it permeates so further wider and quicker, right? It won't take book, whether you have to. We love book, nothing against book, but it takes time to get to thousands of people. By the time you buy and get it to thousands of people, but a film, so many different ways you can watch it, whether it's on YouTube or network, streaming networks and other places. You can widely distribute that message way faster at lightning speed. And yeah, so many people come and say, I learned so much, I didn't know this was happening, I didn't know there was this caste system or there's that, and they ask questions, we bring filmmakers who answers their questions. So there's, I think, a dialogue is so important on those topics after they see the film also. So yeah.
So to wrap up the interview, Rita was going to ask you, for any film director who's looking to sort of submit their movie, what is the process? How do they go about doing that?
The best way is to follow us on Instagram, Tasveer.org, where where all our deadlines come up on there, or Facebook, or join our newsletter, or even simply go to tasveer.org, where we would put up all the deadlines for our submissions. It will open up in February for our next film festival, and which will be our 19th Tasveer Film Festival in October. So start submitting, and yeah.
Is there any criteria for applying or
No, we keep it as simple as possible. If you have a newer film which is made within last 2 years, um, 22 and 23, 2023, uh, 2022 and 2023, then it's qualifying. And yeah, uh, so, and the rules are on our Film Freeway page. There's just few criteria that it hasn't been shown in Seattle before, or it's not being distributed widely or on free channels like YouTube or somewhere. So it has to be new and people don't are not aware of it. So yeah.
wonderful? Well, we wish you all the best, Rita, and thank you so much for talking to NRI Pulse today.
Thank you, NRA Plus and Jyotsna. Thank you for having me on your show. Talk to you soon. Bye.
Bye.